And welcome back live to WomenMoneyEmpower.com. I'm Kathy DeWitt Dunn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to be helping people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area with their finances and with their portfolios. And now I'm happy to say that I'm a certified divorce tax analyst helping people at some of the most critical times in their lives. Today I have the opportunity to have one of the most fabulous attorneys here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that practices family law. I've got Rick Robertson, and Rick Robertson is president and shareholder of Kuntz Fuller. He is the go-to lawyer here in the Southwest, according to everybody in the entire world. And I think a lot of people have seen him on the news. You've seen him on television. You've seen some of the very high-profile cases that he has worked throughout his career here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I'm happy to have you in the studio today, Rick.
Thank you, Kathy. It's great to be here. And of course, not only have there been high-profile cases, really more important are all the real people that we have an opportunity to help. Anybody that does divorce law frequently deserves and needs to have a little bit of a psychological profile done on themselves, because it's not particularly easy when you're dealing with all the emotional issues. But the people that do it for a long time, and I know many divorce lawyers who have done nothing but family law work for 30 plus years, are always people that have a genuine interest in other people and in their stories, in helping them, in finding solutions for them. And that's probably the most gratifying aspect of handling this type of law, whether it is somebody who has a very small estate and who is having difficulty making sure that they're going to be able to cover all the expenses for their children, or whether it is someone that is very wealthy and has plenty of money to go around.
You know, and one of the people that you usually use in your practice is somebody as a certified financial advisor behind the scenes that help people with taxes, what helps them with, taking a look at their assets and, short-term and long-term and how they're possibly divided.
You know, that is so important, and especially for many women that end up going through a divorce process and who have not been the planners, who have not been the principal breadwinners, who have not been the people that are fully cognizant and knowledgeable of all of the opportunities that may be available to them. It is so important and so fabulous to have a certified professional that ends up working with them to help them understand their financial circumstances, to help them understand what some of the consequences may be, either in a trial or a settlement of their estate.
And typically at the firms, you don't have these people that are inside, so you look for them as a resource outside. Is that correct?
Not only do we look for them as a resource outside, but it ends up being a cost savings to the client. When you are dealing with a certified professional that's a financial professional, a certified divorce planning professional, they can end up being much less expensive than having their attorney do all of the legwork and deal with all the details and to analyze things such as the tax implications of particular stocks that a person owns.
And that's why it's so important to have a certified financial professional. I can tell you just recently I had a case where I was working with someone, and the soon-to-be ex-husband was so happy to be getting rid of this very large asset over here that was valued at about $250,000. And it was kind of interesting because I was thinking, why is he so interested in just all of a sudden giving that to his soon-to-be ex-spouse? And then when you looked at the taxable event, you were like, no wonder why he was so generous. She's going to end up with probably less than half of that because of the taxation that was involved in that. So it was pretty interesting. I'm sure you've seen that before too.
We see that all the time. We see it all the time. And again, that's why it can be a cost savings to our clients, especially those who don't have a good knowledge and understanding and grasp of all of the financial implications of their estate. It can be a big cost savings for them to have a certified professional working with them in addition to their lawyer. Now, whenever that happens, it's important to have a certified divorce planner who is knowledgeable about what a judge may or may not be able to do. For example, I have many people who get advice, and sometimes it's wrong advice, even though it is from well-meaning friends, well-meaning professionals who say you need to make sure that the judge makes your husband pay for all of the costs of private school that your children are going to go to. That may not be something that a judge is likely to do in that particular case. And if you go in with unrealistic expectations because you've gotten some wrong advice, you cannot help but be disappointed.
Oh, I know, and I don't know how you do it day in and day out, but some of the calls that we get, people are just, I want them to pay for college, private schools, dance, this and everything. But at the end, you're going to end up receiving less money because somebody has to end up paying for that. And that's the reason why you really need to take a look at it and have a financial plan in place, because that money has to come from somewhere. That's just not out of, in the sky. And I think one of the challenges that we always see is that a lot of the women that come in here that we talk to, you have to kind of talk them out of a tree because they're so used to having everything. And once that union is separated, Rick, things do change.
Things do change, and I loved your analogy. It's also like the old saying, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And if that money is going to have to come from somewhere, it's better to have as much money in your pocket as opposed to being dependent upon future payments.
I know, and I love that. And that's one of the things that really I work with my clients. Give me a call right now, 972-473-4700. This is Kathy DeWitt Dunn along with Rick Robertson. We'll be right back.